Introducing in the ring from Moncton, New Brunswick, weighing 238 pounds, Stompin' Paul Peller. And his opponent, making his way to the ring area, is one half of the Cuban Commando from Havana, Cuba, weighing 235 pounds, the eighth wonder of the world, the Cuban Assassin. And your referee for this match is Ron Gauguin.
And there goes the bell, and this match is underway. The Cuban Assassin, the self-proclaimed eighth wonder of the world, the man who betrayed Leo Burke just several months ago, in against Stompin' Paul Peller, always a rough and tough customer out of Moncton, New Brunswick. And here's Peller whipping the Cuban off the ropes, and Peller going all the way to a backdrop. Here's Stompin' Paul Peller. He really has gained a lot of popularity amongst the fans here in the Maritimes with his rough and ready tactics. Peller backed up along the ropes. Here's the Cuban right hand. Peller comes right back with one of his own. Stompin' Paul Peller, never known for his finesse, but always willing to give a good fight. Here's Peller. He's tied up now by the Cuban in an arm lock. Peller able to get out of it and reverse the hold. Cuban Assassin going to the ropes. Ron Gauguin, the referee, calling for the break. And Peller breaks cleanly. Cuban Assassin claiming that Peller grabbed the hair. And, of course, there's a lot there to grab as far as the Cuban is concerned. Here's Peller. And there's a hair pulling incident as the Cuban grabbed a fistful of Peller's hair. Very lively crowd here at the Cocan Arena. Gare Maxwell is joining you ringside here on World Grand Prix Wrestling. And we'd certainly like to take this moment to say hello to some of the shut-ins across the Maritimes, people for one reason or another who are unable to get out to the matches. We certainly wish you all the best. Hope to see you sometime here at World Grand Prix Wrestling. As we mentioned off the top of the program, the International Heavyweight Wrestling Championship is on the line. Rotten Ron Starr has negotiated a contract to defend his belt against Steve Casey. That will be the main event on this program. Starr and Casey. Of course, Steve Casey, that high-flying British Empire champion, has more than earned his title shot, and he's finally getting it. Here the crowd is chanting for Stompin' Paul Peller, as the Cuban Assassin, I believe, has gone to the trunks. Yes, our cameras clearly pick it up here on ATV. The Cuban Assassin going to the trunks for some contraband, a foreign object, what have you. Referee Ron Gauguin is now checking the Cuban for whatever it is he's carrying, but the Cuban has managed to conceal it once again in those army fatigues. Cuban Assassin backing Peller up off the ropes. Here's Peller coming off shoulder block. Down goes the Cuban Assassin. Once again, the Assassin is down on his back. Here's a body slam, and Peller driving his man to the mat. Here's Peller again. Boy, Stompin' Paul Peller has really wrestled effectively in this match against, as I mentioned, the self-proclaimed eighth wonder of the world, the Cuban Assassin. Once again, the Cuban Assassin with sour grapes claiming that Paul Peller has grabbed the trunks. Of course, that has not been the case. Peller has wrestled cleanly and most effectively. And now once again the Cuban assassin has gone into those army fatigues and he's pulled out some sort of object. He's tucking it back into the pocket. And once again referee Ron Gauguin is checking. He's checking out the allegations that the crowd, of course, is hurling towards the ring, that the Cuban is carrying something. Peller and the Cuban assassin lock horns. Peller with the headlock. Cuban assassin once again going for the hair. Now here's Peller whipped off the ropes. And the Cuban with a big boot. And now once again the Cuban assassin has gone to the trunks. And there we see the object, whatever it was, into the throat of Stompin' Paul Peller. And Peller is dazed. His head rammed into the turnbuckle. The Cuban assassin needed only that brief moment to escape the detection of the referee, Ron Gauguin, to gain the advantage over Stompin' Paul Peller. Here's Peller. He reverses the whip. And now Peller giving some of the Cuban his own medicine. Here's Peller now with a backdrop, and down goes the Cuban assassin. Here's a cover. 1, 2, and the Cuban is able to kick out. Peller once again with a body slam. That's about the 5th slam that Peller has executed here in this match. Peller backing the Cuban up to the turnbuckle here in the corner in front of us at ringside. Here's the Cuban assassin whipping Peller off the ropes. Clothesline. Peller is down 2-3, even though Peller clearly had his foot on the rope. Referee Ron Gauguin did not pick it up, but Peller had his foot on the rope as his shoulders were pinned. And now referee Gauguin is trying to check for that foreign object once again, but the Cuban assassin, of course, pleads innocent. And Stompin' Paul Peller, despite wrestling a great match, comes up short here against the Cuban assassin. World